Ron Moron. If you missed him, I didn't have a chance to tweet that out. I apologize. I was busy enjoying the conversation. Phil Kerpen, of course, this morning, and Ed Nail was with us. We're going to have Kimberly Morin in the next segment, and then Mark Osborne is coming to the studio to talk to us about the fun budget hijinks going on in dairy.
Absolutely. So Phil Kerpen first. I mean, he's one of my favorite policy analysts. He's always really got all the facts at his fingertips, and he's a shameless warrior for the free market. And it seems almost as if he's locked in a personal battle to the death with Bob McChesney, who is the communist leader of the laughingly called Free Press, who want, in fact, anything but. And the key people behind the push for net neutrality, which again is also anything but. And now the FCC have said they're going to regulate everything that moves on the internet. And all of a sudden, the people that thought net neutrality was going to help them, like the video pushers, Netflix, etc., suddenly found out that it's going to regulate them so heavily they didn't want it, after all. So be careful what you ask for, because government will give you more than you wanted. But Phil is a great policy analyst and warrior for the free market. That was a great segment.
This is what we should play this for those Netflix folks.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
That's what you get when you make deals with these socialist nut jobs.
Right. Well,
they keep changing the deal.
You've sold your soul to the government. These people think that they can get protection from new upstart competitors or from some other entities they have to do business with by getting into bed with the government. And what usually happens is they get out with some horrible disease and they lose their shirts. Sorry, that's a little too graphic, but you get the idea.
Oh, yeah. No, if you want to follow Phil Kerpen on Twitter, his handle is Kerpen, Kerpen. And American Commitment's handle is AMERCOMM, and you can follow them, and you'll see some of that, because Phil is a very active tweeter, and he is always doing battle with somebody over some issue. So it's a great place to go and check out what he's up to and what he's talking about at that particular time. So we got a couple minutes before we bring Kimberly in to talk about balsams and whatever else. A lot of things always happening. The format changes. We don't always know how much time we're going to have to really just prattle on.
Right, and Obama is doing his best imitation of Neville Chamberlain. He's somewhere between being a Muslim supplicant and a foolish appeaser. And I get this great cartoon from Investors Business Daily and Michael Ramirez of John Kerry there as the Easter Bunny. And the text reads, anyone who believes Iran will live up to this agreement probably believes in the Easter Bunny. And in hops Kerry saying, I got a deal, in his bunny suit. And that's really about the way it is. Nobody believes that Iran will live up to this deal. And, in fact, they believe that they're effectively pre-cheating, squirreling away resources, trying to define what's off-limit for inspections. Does anybody believe that their super-secret nuclear lab under the mountain in Fordow is going to stop operating just because they somehow exclude it from inspections? This is not going to stop operating, and you can bet your bottom dollar that Israel and Saudi Arabia are figuring out what kind of bunker busters they're going to need, or even nuclear bombs they're going to need to stop Iran before it attacks them.
Well, it's interesting because, I mean, they've admitted that they want to destroy us. Just come right out and said it.
Yeah,
and then we also know that they condone lying or cheating or doing whatever it takes to advance the agenda, which is the spread of Islam, even if it means destroying themselves along with everybody else.
Well,
they've admitted to these things.
Exactly. So let's sort of take those pieces. So first of all, in what can only be described as a not exactly rare moment of honesty, the Islamic leaders, the Ayatollahs, and the generals have said that they want to annihilate Israel, that they want to destroy America, and they're looking for the means to do it. And there are times when you shouldn't take them at their word, but that, I think, is complete honesty. And what does Obama or Kerry say? Well, they have the right to their opinion. Does anybody possibly think that opinion is driving policy and spinning the centrifuges? It's ridiculous. And their alliance with North Korea has long been known. That's another rogue nuclear state. These two states are both engineering and testing and refining missiles, short, medium, and now long-range missiles, which will one day be far enough and accurate enough to do serious harm. The Russians are moving anti-missile batteries to their southern border in case Korea goes on the on the offensive. And meanwhile, we're sitting here fat, dumb, and happy. What defense have we got if either of these nations launches, for example, a high-altitude nuke and causes an EMP and wipes out some or all of our technology infrastructure? Let's say they don't even come close to our coasts and try and set it off over the heartland. What if they set it off over the Pacific Ocean and wipe out California's high-tech or Seattle's high-tech? They would do incalculable harm to our economy. And we're letting these folks, continue to develop and continue their unholy allegiance. When George W. Bush, bless him, said there's an axis of evil, he wasn't exactly pulling that phrase out of his hat.
Good choice of words there, hat.
You knew where I was going, and
I knew. I was just listening to see where you were going.
And I chose the Texan alternative.
Yes, out of your hat.
Instead of the place where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, it's I know a lot of people are purposefully overwhelmed by all of this, and the entire, the complexity of law, the complexity of the debate, the complexity of a discussion. It's almost like you need a degree, and you need to. We spend lots of time reading.
Yeah,
to understand the basics of issues, and most people aren't going to do that. They don't want to be bothered, and the entire establishment political complex has made it that way on purpose to keep them out of the debate. And so when you have a situation like Iran, where you have people who are promising that, they're like, we're going to bring the next Imam or whatever, the global Ummah. We've got all this.
Exactly. The 12th Imam.
Right.
Total global destruction, of which the only survivors will be burned and wizened Muslims.
We all go to heaven. All you infidels go to hell. They don't care. And people are like, they can't grasp that for some reason. Even though you have terrorists who blow themselves up to kill busloads of children or take out a building or even a marathon, and they just don't get it. It's very difficult to get people to connect to those issues and put the dots together with all the noise and the media control and and everything else. And so, that's one of the reasons why we do the show. We try to get people to share it. Please, if you listen or you share the podcast, if you know somebody who's concerned about some issues and we talk about something that you think they need to hear, please share the program with them. And, it's free. It really is. They don't have to listen if they don't want to.
Yeah. And by the way, send us tips. If you've got ideas of stuff that ought to be discussed, you can send us a tip. You can call in. We should publish the number at the beginning of the show like Rush Limbaugh does. Or you can come in and talk to us and debate us if you disagree, too. We're happy to have everybody on. In fact, I understand that Skip has reached out to the campaign of Martin O'Malley.
That was Ed.
Sorry, it was Ed. Okay. Because, Ed's the registered Democrat on the team, of course. Because we want to hear what all the political candidates have got to say. We don't believe that Hillary's inevitable, and we don't believe that Jeb Bush is inevitable.
Correct. And we also are always looking for people who want to write for the GrokWATCH news desk. We have a couple folks, only one of whom has actually submitted anything. If you've tried to contact me at GrokWATCH@GraniteGrok.com and I have not responded, please continue to do so. I get a lot of mail, and I often have to go hunt down stuff that I know I should be looking for that should have come in that I didn't see. Mm-hmm. So, there's no real easy way for me to sort all that in my Yahoo mail, and it comes in, and I try to look at it whenever I can. If you are interested, even if you have just one story, if you want to write it anonymously, as long as we can verify the information, I would be happy to put it up for you.
Right. And then if you want to be anonymous, as in put your byline on it, we'll put your byline on it.
We can absolutely, whatever you want to call yourself, if you want to, I have been writing as me for as long as I've been doing this, pretty much. And,
and by the way, the authorities do watch, as in at the time the AG's office came trying to hunt down James O'Keefe and came to my house and said, we know who you are, we read your stuff, we listen to your speeches, so don't think they don't, but we're not shy. If you want to be shy, we'll do it anonymous.
Yes, and we are willing to do that. We need to know who you are, but they don't. So that's another option that's available to you. Thanks again for listening and sharing the show and following us on Facebook and Twitter. Please check.
Let me put in a quick plug for something that's going on. So I said we don't believe that Jeb Bush is inevitable, but what are we going to do about it? Well, the answer is there are a couple of new organizations, and the nice thing is we've actually made the national conservative media now. The 603 Alliance is effectively a political organization. What's that?
Mark Osborne's here for 10:30. So
okay, the 603 Alliance is a political activist organization that plans to bring together as many conservative and libertarian groups in the state as possible to bring the candidates before them and to put together an agreement that we are going to vet the candidates. We're going to hold a caucus in October, and the groups participating will agree that whoever wins the caucus will be the one that we will, at least the majority of us, will support, in an attempt to create a severe bump in the voting pattern, such that the best conservative actually gets a big chunk more votes than the rest, instead of them all getting about the same and the establishment candidate winning. Aligned with that, and with some of the same steering committee members, the Conservative Business League in New Hampshire exists to educate, promote, take money from members, and bring in the candidates. And there will be two kinds of events: those that the group puts on from the membership fees, and those that the candidates pay for the group to put on, as in organize a rally, set up a town hall, whatever. And that's how Ted Cruz came to do that big event in Merrimack last week.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We have to call Kimberly Morin. Stay tuned with more. Stay tuned for more Grok Talk.